My guest today is a former Maple Leaf player. His name is Nathan Perrott. Hey Nathan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. At first, how did you become an enforcer in the NHL? Because everybody play hockey first for the fun of the game, score a goal, or make beautiful play. How did it all begin for you?
Oh, that's a good question. I was playing junior C in Walkerton, Ontario. Um, we had a really tough team, a really strong team, and skill-wise, we had a really good, a lot of guys that would fight a lot. Good guys, though, and the guy he played in Quebec Senior League there, Mike Bajerny, he was on the team. I don't know if you remember that name. Anyway, so the guys would fight a lot. So I got in a couple fights that year. Really didn't fight a lot though. But then the next year I went and played in St. Mary's, Ontario, in Junior B, and that was the year I kind of started fighting a lot because a guy who was trying out with the team, we kind of became friends, and he told me because I wasn't having a great tryout, and he said you're probably gonna have to fight today if you want to have a chance to make the team. So I ended up fighting a 20-year-old guy. He was in his last year in the league, and I guess he was known to be pretty tough. And I fought him that night and did very well, and ended up winning the fight. And then they signed me the next day, and I was a fourth line guy until about Christmas. And junior B, you get kicked out after one fight, so out of the game. So I would wait to the second or third period and in the first half of the year and get my one fight in. So I fought quite a bit that year, but I think we had 48 game schedule, and I know I had over 30 fights that year, so I was fighting almost every game. But yeah, by the end of the year though, I got pretty good at hockey. And in playoffs, we won the championship, and I was on the first line by then, and I think I led our team in scoring, or I was near the top in scoring anyway. I don't think I led the team, but I had a really strong playoff run that year. So just kind of how it happened.
At your point of view, if you wasn't fight, did you play in the NHL?
If I didn't fight?
Yes.
Well, the game was different back then, right? You kind of had to, for guys like me, because I was always a physical player, like the body check and stuff. And yeah, like today's game, I'd say I'd probably find a way to make it, just by being fast and shooting and all that stuff. But back when I was coming through, there was still, the fighting was pretty prevalent back then still. So yeah, almost. There wasn't too many guys that didn't fight, it was more the other way, kind of, now there's not too many guys that do fight, so, I don't know. It's a tough question to answer.
Nathan, it was probably tough to play your role. How did you get through game after game when at each game you had to fight the guy in the opponent team?
Yeah, you try not to think about it too much. Because I remember when I was young, you'd have a hard time sleeping the night before games because you're going to have to fight really tough guys. So you just kind of, I don't know, find something to distract you so you wouldn't think about it too much. And then as you get older and more mature, and you just kind of get used to it. You've done it enough times, you just kind of show up. And then if I'm going to fight, it'll happen. I'll be ready for it if it does, but I'm not going to, worry about it until that moment, kind of thing. But yeah, it's not an easy job for sure. It's actually it's harder on your mind, I find, than anything. You get punched, it's not fun, of course, but, playing mind tricks on yourself about fighting is probably the hardest part.
Who was the toughest guy you fought in your career?
Oh, they were all tough. We can't. Yeah, there wasn't too many guys. Not too many whips not fighting. I think they're all pretty tough guys. So, there's guys you did better than. Like, you'd get the upper hand just because your style maybe be better or whatever. But, it was, I think Jamie Allison broke my face in a fight in Nashville. It was kind of funny because I didn't say anything because I didn't want to get sent down. And then we went to Chicago the next night, and I was a healthy scratch, and then they sent me down the next day, and I probably should have had a plate put in my face because you can still feel where it's broken. But I don't know. I just kept playing away, and it was funny. After that fight, I wasn't able to take punches the same way like I used to. I think it was probably because of this broken bone in my face. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was because I never could quite, because before I'd be able to take a punch really good, and then after that I never could take a punch the same way. So I don't know.
You've played in the NHL for the Nashville Predators, Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Dallas Stars. What is your favorite team and why?
Oh, I grew up in Ontario, so Toronto is definitely my favorite. And they gave me the most games, too. I played the most with Toronto, but, you grow up in Ontario. You're either a Leafs fan or, there's a lot of Montreal fans, and if you're from the London way, like, there's a lot of Detroit fans. I guess a lot of it depends on where you're closest to, but yeah, I'm sure there's probably a lot of Buffalo fans closer that way, too, to Buffalo. But where I lived, we were all Toronto Maple Leaf fans, and yeah, so to play for them was a great honor.
What is your best souvenir in the NHL? It was to play your first game with the Toronto Maple Leaf, first goal, first fight, what it is?
Well, what's my favorite moment, like my biggest highlight?
Yes.
Well, obviously, my first game was really amazing, but there's a lot of really cool moments. But there was one of my that sticks out for me was I got to start in one game, and my line mates were Matt Sundin, Alex McGillney, and on D they had Caberlet and McCabe, and in goal was Ed Balfour, and then threw me on the left wing.
Not bad.
I remember before the game, Alamo comes up to me. He's like, Nathan, do you mind playing your off wing? Because I really like to play my off wing, so I want to play right side. And I was like, what? Like, what are you going to say? Hall of Famer asking you to switch sides? I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do it. Hell no. I was like, sure, Alex, no problem. Wherever you need me. But it was pretty funny. Yeah. You stand up there and listen to the national anthem at the ACC, standing on the ice. It was pretty awesome.
At my point of view, Matt Sundin was one of the best players in the NHL. For you, who was the best player you played with?
That I played with? Oh, wow. Yeah, there was. I was lucky. I got to play with some really great players along the way. Like in junior, I played with Mark Savard and Joe Thornton. Those two were absolutely amazing players. Obviously McGillney and Sundin, and like that year I was in Toronto, they had a lot of great players on that team. Roberts and Newendike, and we ended up getting Ron Francis and Brian Leach at the end of the year. And Caberlet was amazing. McCabe, I think. Mike Modano in Dallas, that guy was unbelievable. Trying to pick the best one though, it'd be pretty hard. There was some pretty amazing players I played with, so I was pretty lucky. Yeah, over my career to get to play with such special guys.
You played in the KHL in Russia. How was the experience?
In the KHL, yeah, it was my first year there. It was still the Russian Super League. It was my second year was the first year of the KHL, but it was a neat experience for sure. The people in Russia they're kind of cold at first, but then once you get to know them, they get to know you. They're really friendly and really nice people, but they get that. It's kind of a cold exterior, I guess, to say. But great people. Once you get to know them, they know, oh, okay, yeah, and then they're just like everybody else. Like friendly and stuff. But there's a lot of, obviously, it's a different culture for sure. They do things a lot different there, and it was a really great experience to see how they live on the other side of the world for sure. But some things I really liked, and some things, I was just glad to get back to Canada. Be back home.
You have also played only 2 games for the Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu Summum Chiefs in the North American Hockey League. What can you say about this league and your tour with the North American Hockey League?
Oh, with the Chiefs, yeah. Well,
yeah,
I couldn't. I had a hard time getting a job that year. I don't know what was going on anyway. So I ended up going after I left there. I went to Switzerland and finished here in Switzerland. But so what happened was I went to the Chiefs. Gabriel Gignac was on the team, and he ended up getting suspended for the rest of the year. So Brandon Sugden, who's a buddy of mine, he said, "You want to come play? They're looking for a guy." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll come out." So I went for the weekend, played a couple games, and I was going to stay. And they treated me great, but they told me after the weekend that the league had informed him that they had already had a guy on the team that played in the NHL the previous year, and there was a rule that you could only have one. So even we won one of the games. I think we won one, lost one, and they had to forfeit the game they won because of this rule violation that happened. So they said they were going to have to release me because they couldn't have me on the team. So yeah, so it ended up not working out, and then I got a call from John Van Boxmeer. He was coaching SC Bern over in the Swiss Elite League, and he wanted me to come over for the playoff run. I didn't even play a game. It was the easiest money I made in hockey. All I'd have to do was skate around the red line and warm ups and try and intimidate the other team, and then take my stuff off and watch the hockey games. That was a pretty good goal. Couldn't complain. It was a paid vacation in Switzerland for 7 weeks. I enjoyed it, actually. Yeah.
I know you don't play a lot in the North American Hockey League, but of what you see, do you think the league have to do an expansion in Ontario? I know that the league was in Cornwall in the past, but at your point of view, it is possible for the Ontario?
Yeah, you're trying to think of markets where it would do well, and you obviously don't want to put too much travel restraints in the league. I don't know. That'd be a tricky thing. Obviously, you could probably put a team in Ottawa, but they're with the OHL here. I guess they compete with Quebec Majors Junior League, so yeah, I think we'd probably be okay. It's I'm sure there'd be enough guys we could get to make it a decent team. There's a lot of senior leagues in Ontario that are pretty good. I'm sure they'd draw from that. But yeah, I think. Why are they talking about expanding? I haven't heard anything. Probably don't get much news about that league, that American League over here, but.
Nathan, after your hockey career, you decided to turn pro in boxing. Was the transition tough?
Yes, there's a lot of things you learn growing up boxing, or like any sport. You learn the little nuances when you're young, and there's some things some hard lessons I never learned in boxing. Well, yeah, I really love the sport though. Like that's probably why I keep doing it. But it is a great sport, but it's not easy. That's for sure.
Did you like more to fight in a ring or on ice?
That's a good question. I don't know. They're different. It's completely different. Obviously you both punching people in the face or whatever, punching people get punched, but it's I don't know, comparing apples and oranges, right? Two different fruits, but they're both. I like them both. I don't know. The hockey fighting seems to be getting less and less in the game, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I guess I kind of blaming all the concussions on it, but it's tough though. You see guys get hurt, and you don't want to see them get hurt that bad, right? Like I'm talking to some friends that have the post-concussion syndrome, and they're still suffering, years after. It's a shame, you don't want to see them go through that, but I don't know. I don't know what's the right thing.
Two more for you, Nathan. Next one, I think you are now a firefighter and you're a father too. How is your life now?
Oh yeah. I have three boys that all play hockey. My oldest son plays for the London Knights. He's 16, he's a rookie, and he's doing well. He's having a good year. London's actually doing really well this year, considering they traded away at the deadline. They traded away four of their best players, and they're doing still pretty good. Yeah, being a firefighter is great. I really like, kind of similar to hockey, where you get that team atmosphere and camaraderie, and I always like to be able to help other people. So it's the way. I don't don't have a lot of money to donate, but part of my time. So I'm a volunteer firefighter as well as a paid firefighter at a nuclear plant. But yeah, so it's good. I'm always either at the fire hall or at a hockey rink watching my kids play.
The last one, it's about your kids. How do they see their father? Because you play in the NHL, you say that your kids play hockey. How did you see you?
Oh, well, just like any child looks at their parent, right? I guess. My two older guys like to tease me and make fun of me, but excuse me, sorry, I'm stretching there. Yeah, they're, it's, boys are boys, right? We just have, they always listen to, try to give them the right advice. What I always thought, let's get my kids in front of the good coaches, the guys that know, like Andrew, my oldest son. I always tried to get him to work with guys that knew the game a lot better than I did. So the thing, they seem to listen to other people more than their parents. I'm sure most parents out there listening would know what I'm talking about. The kids don't want to listen to their parents for some reason. But,
all right, Nathan Perrott, thank you for your time, and just to say you have an amazing career. You can be proud of what you did in the past.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
for your time.